The shin box squat is the ultimate hip mobility drill, and it's an underrated butt builder. Now, the big focus here, start with a stick to self-assist. We've got 90-90 shape. I'm internally rotating the back leg, externally rotating the lead leg. Exhale through the mouth going up. Inhale through the nose going down. Once that gets tasty and you feel good about it, you can progress to body weight only. Make sure you go slow on the descent. This will also be a great drill to really open up that rotation to unlock your hips for more punching power. Going laterally, same concepts up top, but left foot leads going left and right foot leads going right. I can increase hip and thigh activation by dropping my hips down for a better lower body workout. Footwork is everything when it comes to boxing. The key is starting with the staggered stance. Left foot is right in front of the left shoulder, right foot is right behind the right shoulder. You're on the balls of the feet and there's a straight line between your feet. Get your guard up. As I go forward, front foot leads. As I go backward, back foot leads. The jab and the cross, or the 1 and the 2, are the two most important punches in boxing. Now the jab is the easiest punch to land because it's on your lead shoulder, and it also helps set the distance between you and your opponent. It's the ultimate setup punch for a punch like the cross or the 2, which is a power punch straight down the middle. For both punches, notice how the wrists start facing here in a neutral position and they rotate and finish overhand. And the big focus between these punches, when you jab, the weight transfers from your front to your back foot. When you throw the cross, the weight transfers from your back foot to your lead foot. Both punches involve pivoting feet and rotating hips for maximum power. And I'll tell you what, that's all I gotta say about that. If you want to maximize your punching power, you got to open up those hips. They must be able to rotate, besides the fact that poor hip rotation leads to lower back pain. Nobody wants that. We're in the shin box position, 90-90. We got external rotation lead leg, internal rotation trail leg. Now what I want you to do here is, initially if you're tight in the hips, especially the back hip, and you're missing internal rotation, it's going to dump you off to the side. So take this hand, post up, and push away, and actually get a little bit of a scapular workout, scapular depression, packing it down, spreading those fingers, and keeping you as upright as possible. From there, hand can go right here if you want. I'm just going to focus on clamshelling. Exhale out, and notice how I keep this leg pinned down, and I go to a full flat foot position. Inhale back, and I'm doing it without letting my trunk position change. Now I added a mini band above the knees to give resistance to work those hip abductors or lateral hip or hip rotators more. You can do it with your body weight as needed. This just gives you more mobility and activation and increases the intensity of the exercise. One of the biggest challenges with boxing is learning how to punch and move at the same time. It takes a lot of rhythm and coordination. I know I didn't have a lot of that growing up. Big dumb lineman, okay? I was good at pushing people out of the way, knocking them down. And I had quick feet, but I didn't know how to move them in sync. So this is a great drill to help you with that. So we get our good boxing stance. And one thing that can help is take some masking tape and put a straight line to the floor. Or if I give this visual here, you want to always keep a line between your feet. All right, we don't want the feet to be together like this. Then we can't rotate the hips. We're in a bad position, we're off balance, we can't throw punches, and we can get knocked out real quick. Even if you never plan on getting in the ring, you gotta do it right. We get that good stagger stance, okay? So when I go forward, front foot leads. When I go back, back foot leads. All right, and what I wanna do here is, I wanna try to add a jab with this. So the punch and the step should hit the same time. So here we go, I get locked in. Now, I want more, and by the way, add a mini band above the knees to get more lateral hip activation. What else also happens? If my feet get too close together, the band slips. So it helps me really be mindful of my form, and I get more out of the exercise. In a similar manner, wrapping here, now my jab is something to work with. Big common problem with the jab, people will shortchange it. It won't go all the way up, but the band encourages you to get all the way out. Maximum reach, right? Difference between here and here is contact. So I get locked in, Notice how I'm punching on the exhale, inhaling on the next step. Exhale, inhale. Now, I can do the same thing laterally. Left foot leads going left, right foot leads going right. That gets metabolic quick, but it's gonna smoke the hips and the shoulders. Do it with body weight if you need, but bands them, make them dance. The double jab is the equivalent of a 1.5 repetition in strength training. Here's an example. If I'm doing a press, I would lower all the way down, press halfway up, go back down, then go all the way up. That's 1 repetition. Applying it to a jab looks like this. So I punch all the way out, I come back halfway, go right back out again. It's a way to really throw off the timing or rhythm of an opponent. If you're doing sparring, from a conditioning standpoint, it's a great pulsing, fast twitch exercise that'll test you in a big way. So I think you'll really enjoy this. Now, you max it out by using the band, because the band not only gives you resistance going out, but it pulls you back in faster to increase the turnover and speed of your punches and also power on the resistance end. But go light. You don't want too heavy a band, so you're struggling and muscling the punches. So here's what it looks like. All the way out, back, back. All right? Have some fun with that. You can start slow and build up the speed. If you want to still mix in single jabs and then some double jabs, you can. But this exercise really increases the intensity, requires more focus, and it's a great way to mix up the jab. This is the foundational punch. Guess what's coming up next? The triple jab. But you have to wait. The most important combination in boxing is a 2-punch combo known as the 1-2, or the jab into the cross. The jab sets it up, and the cross is the power punch that can change the way people feel about you or change people's lives long term, okay? Awesome, powerful combination, super metabolic, especially when you add some speed to it. And you can also add a heavy bag if you want to increase the intensity. Here's the main focus, right? We break it down first. First, learn how to jab. When you jab, the weight shifts from the front to the rear foot. When you throw a cross, the weight shifts from the back to the lead foot. And the goal here is pivoting feet, rotating hips. So 1, 2. Start slow. I always say, dial that switch down to about 25% speed. 1, 2. You can use a mirror if it helps. 50% speed is like this. 75, full speed. All right, and there's speed, which is getting it in and out quick, and there's power. See the difference? My breathing was versus, all right? So the breathing drives this. You exhale on each punch, you inhale through the nose into the belly to recover between punches, all right? Simple drill, so many benefits. It'll take years to master, but it's also one of those combinations you can quickly pick up. And again, you get miles out of this combo from a conditioning and an overall fitness standpoint. Do it today. The shin box switch, one of my go-to mobility drills. I also love doing this while watching TV at night, but it's a great way to start your workout, especially when you're doing a workout that involves rotation, like boxing, tennis, those types of golf, those types of activities. You gotta open those hips up, otherwise you're gonna tear up that lower back. So here we go. I get nice and set in my 90-90 shape, externally rotated here, internally rotated here. Now, there's a couple things I can do in this position, which is why I like to set like a 3 to 5 minute clock on this when I do it. See this? I'm gonna let myself shrug up, pack my shoulder down and back, spread my fingers, even can kind of mobilize the fingers and hands a bit. I can post up here and I can do a clamshell. Exhale up, inhale down. Then I can come up into my shin box squat. Exhale up, inhale down. When I want to switch sides, which we're going to start alternating, I'm actually trying to mimic, it's kind of like that crab shape there, but I'm also trying to get as close into a squat position as I can. This is the squat mobility drill. Then I switch to the other side. I can do the same concept where I do a little shrug, push down, clamshell, and then a shin box squat rotating all the way through. And I can just keep repeating this for time. Awesome drill to just really grease the groove, open things up, build your butt, and again, unlock those hips, which are the key to generating maximum power in life, sport, and the bedroom. Best believe! anybody can punch, but not everyone can punch and move at the same time with rhythm and coordination. That's what we're working with this drill, the 1-2 combo footwork drill. The 1 is the jab, the 2 is the cross. 2 most important punches in boxing. Now, take a look at that band. That's going to be the line that just helps us remember good stance mechanics. We never want to have the feet come together like this. We can't punch, react, or do anything from this position. So there's a nice stagger maintained throughout. When I'm going forward, front foot leads. When I'm going back, back foot leads. Now, to sync these puppies up, you have to do a nice exhale on every punch and try to make direct contact foot as you throw the punch. So go nice and slow. Bump that speed down to 25%. Be methodical. Now, I have this band here to get more lateral hip activation, also to help encourage me to get that proper foot spacing, whether I'm Southpaw or Orthodox. So if I get you close, you see what happens? Slides on me. So get it right there. This band's here to encourage full extension on my punches. It's very common, especially when working this footwork drill. You're gonna wanna kind of go like this, but no, the band's gonna tell you, you gotta get all the way out there. So we start nice and slow. Keep it straight ahead on those punches. What I like to do is exhale every punch, inhale through the nose to recover between combinations. I can also do this laterally, going left, left foot leads. Going right, right foot leads. And you can also just mix it up multi-directional, both stances. Get after it today. Footwork and hand speed, full body cardio, rhythm and coordination, and don't lose that ability as you get older to be athletic. Enjoy. One, two, three. The lead hook is the third most important punch in boxing. It's also the number 3 on most boxing number charts on command. So why is it such a great punch? All right. This is a round punch and a real good power punch. The best way to set this up, there's a straight line right here. You slip off that line as if someone's about to jab you, right? You'd slip that, and then I can load up. And what happens when you lead hook, the weight transfers from the front foot to the back foot. It's also very different than our straights, right? These are coming straight ahead, the 1s and the 2s. We're actually bent at a 90-degree angle. The only difference between a hook and an uppercut is this position hook, this position uppercut. Same angle in the arm, okay? So you can actually kind of mix between those. That's a true hook, that's an uppercut, right? That's kind of like a upper hook or a scoop. But this drill is so great, and we can go head, we can go body, we can add level change. So again, you can do this without the slip, but it's harder, just kind of more of a quick. All right, always get that hand back to the face. But when we slip, that allows me to really body, H, head, B, body, all right? We can really mix it up, all right? The key focus is imagine a center line or use a mirror and see yourself slipping the punch, loading up, front foot to back foot transfer. That's where all the power comes from. And then you can even slip back and reload and go to the body, come back to the head. But really just take time to just work on the slip in that lead hook. Takes a lot of time and effort. It's an awkward punch to learn. That's why we've waited a little bit to master the 1 and the 2 first. But now you're ready to add in this round punch to your arsenal. It's gonna mix things up. It'll make your training a lot more fun. Enjoy. Welcome to combo reaction. So I'm gonna call out a number which is representing a punch, and you have to throw that punch or that combination, and I'll mix it up. We've got our 1, we've got our 2, we've got our 1, 2, we've got our 1, 3, we've got our 2, 3, and we've got our 1, 2, 3. Now, early on with this, because it's really gonna throw your nervous system through a loop, all right? Just react to the punches, do the best you can follow along, but start slow, okay? And don't even worry about putting power on it. So 1, just try to get it out there nice and smooth. 1, eventually it can be a, then it can be a 2, then it can be a 1, 2, and then it can be a 1, 2, 3, or it could be a 2, 3, all right? Or a 1. I'm gonna call it, and you're gonna match my punches. You know the key punches, the only numbers are 1, 2, and 3. All right, they might come on their own as individual punches or 2 or 3 punch combinations. Do the best you can to hang with it Have fun with it. Make it like a video game. No pressure. You will get better from week to week on this, by the way. So enjoy. I love combo ladders because it spices up your training and it makes you have to stay focused and locked into your workout. Keeps you on your toes. So what I mean by this, a 1, 2, 3 combo ladder. Our 1 is our jab. Our 2 is our cross. Our 3 is our lead hook. And I actually like the band even for the lead hook because we're not trying to extend on the band, but what this will do, if you find yourself doing too much of a straight arm on the hook, the band kind of forces you to kind of go more 90-degree angle on it. It just keeps you really tight and focused on your hooks. That's a 3, that's a 4. We'll get there eventually. But the 1, 2, 3 combo ladder. I throw a 1. I throw a 1, 2. I throw a 1, 2, 3. A little slower. 1, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Now the beauty of this flow, right? I go from, when I do my jab, front foot to back foot, which sets up back foot to front foot on the cross, which sets up front foot again to back foot on the lead hook. So it'll keep you on your toes. Start nice and slow, all right? But then speed it up over time. And then do it for time, full rounds. This will light you up. You'll burn fat, heart rate and metabolism through the roof. And again, it'll really get your hand speed up. Enjoy. The boxer squat teaches you how to squat properly in your boxing stance. We're gonna elevate the heels also to get you comfortable with being more on your toes or balls of the feet and stress the low quads more and strengthen the knees. This is something where if you have weak low quads and knee problems, this can be bothersome to you. So you gotta start slow, and we're gonna start with this heel elevated sequence, whether slant boards, weight plates, or books. Now the key to really punching hard is everything's driven from the ground up. We gotta get the legs, hips, and feet involved. So we get into our good boxing stance, right? As I would on the floor, left foot in front of left shoulder, right foot behind right shoulder, stepping on these guys. And all we're gonna do is inhale down, exhale up, and we're gonna duck as low as we can, keeping the trunk upright and our guard up. And then we're gonna do a nice good shoulder roll. So it's kind of part of our duck and roll, so it's defense too. But getting low and getting comfortable with this movement, again, so we do that shoulder roll, keep the eyes ahead, protecting, inhale down, exhale up. Start really, so you can kind of hold that position, own it, feel it. All right, this is part of your warm-up. We're not trying to go fast here. We're trying to get really comfortable, right? If we end up ducking and squatting like this, how can I punch? So this is kind of allowing you to get used to, just like a young Mike Tyson when he was super low and he was always upright. That allows you to immediately follow up with punches and protect your face and head at all times. So inhale down, exhale up, add that shoulder roll, keep the eyes ahead as if using an opponent. And eventually we'll do this on the floor without the assistance of these guys, but this will get you ready for it. So this is gonna set the foundation for more punching power, better defense, and more leg, hip, thigh recruitment. Here we go. One of my favorite ways to warm up for an excellent boxing workout is seated punching freestyle. Now we can do this a couple ways. The floor, which I'll show next, or seated on a med ball or stability ball or even a box or bench. I like the ball aspect because it gives me a little bit more movement, and that rolling action lends itself well to the dynamics of boxing. Now, what is this gonna do for you? Now, in the seated version like this allows me to isolate movement through the trunk, all right? So I can't involve my legs and hips as much. Now the ball does allow me to get that little bit of that swivel and rotation. We're driving it mainly through our upper mid back, and it really gets the core going. So all you do here is get your guard up, and we can bias, one side more than the other, whether it be Orthodox or Southpaw, but even just kind of starting, just getting your guard up and down, using shoulder shrugs, adding some movement there, some of that like twisting through the upper mid back and scapula, and just kind of work your punches. Your 1, your 2, your 3, your 4, your 5, and your 6, bringing the guard back to the face. And I can also add some movement this way, kind of that lateral flexion, side bending. I can do some rotations, and I can even lean back a bit, and this really puts tension on the core. So almost like lean back away from the punch, just basically work it. Have some fun, slow, start at about 25% speed, and we can build it up. Exhale on each punch, and just work your punches, add movement, and just really try to get the abdomen going. But again, the key focus is, if our shoulders and upper back are stiff, our punches kind of go more here, even if we fully extend the arms. What we're trying to do here is focus here and get all the way in and out on those punches and movement. Get motion through the thoracic spine or upper mid back. Really protract, retract those shoulder blades. And again, lateral, rotational, a lot of good trunk movement. Now, on the seated ball, again, this allows me to kind of really I still can get my legs underneath a little bit and I can get a little more lean back. When I come on the ground like this, in that straddle position, now it really, wow, a lot of gooch on this one, really mobilizes the groin, adductors, and hamstrings. So this can be really great for people that are stiff here. You start. Again, same actions can apply. I can do a little bit of lean back here. It's not as, it's a little more challenging on the floor versus the ball, but work your punches, all 6, whether one at a time, in combination, and then add some movement. And again, the rolls here lend itself really well to opening up the hips, the hamstrings, and the groin. By the time you get to your feet, these are gonna be nice and loose, and now we've also activated the trunk. So we're ready to go. Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3 combo footwork. So jab, cross, lead, hook in sequence with our foot movement. So the punch lands with the foot. Everything has to sync up real nice here. Exhale on each punch. Inhale through the nose to recover between patterns. So we're gonna use a 4-step combination here. So start nice and slow, get your boxing stance. I've got the band here to enforce as much as I can on the straights, full extension, and also on the hooks to make sure I don't lose that good positioning. The band kind of helps me lock in. The mini band above the knees, all right? It's gonna maintain our good staggered stance. If we come too close, it slides on us, all right? So keep tension in it, and we get more lateral hip thigh recruitment. So nice and easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 4th step, there's no punch. Go forward. Now I'm gonna go back. Now I'm gonna go right. Then I'm gonna go left. And then slowing it down is actually a little bit more difficult sometimes, but start slower and then just kind of work the pattern. And go for time. Switching stances halfway as always, and just make sure, don't speed it up so we lose the synchronized contact or we lose the extension on the punches. It's a little bit harder to do the footwork with the hooks or the rounds because you're actually adding rotation as you're moving forward. Much easier. This is a little bit tough. So keep the hooks tight and short, and again, the band will help you with that because it's harder to overextend or twist using it, all right? Great warm up, and also cardio-metabolic, and it's a real credit to the fact that boxing is kind of like dance fighting. 3, 4, lead hook, rear hook. Alternating hook is just mixing between those 2 punches. Now we can go through a variety of levels as well, but initially just start by getting comfortable with what's really key with all punches, but hooks in particular. It's that pivoting feet, rotating hip. Even between rounds or in the warm-up or starting the workout, just kind of get comfortable back and forth, all right? And I keep this kind of mindset when I get into a big kind of hook combination sequence, just always pivoting, rotating, adding that head movement, keeping my guard up. So here we go, we get locked in. I like to do that first slip. So someone punches you with a jab, you get off that center line, and then follow up. So I can go head, head, I can go body, body, I can go head, body, I can go body, head. And you can mix between all of those over the course of the round before switching stances. This will come into play later in the workout too when we add the reaction drills, where you have to react to what I say, whether it's 3, 4, head or body, between those 4 different options. But again, start nice and easy, and even just kind of pretend like you get up to like close to a wall, and just boom, boom, nice and tight with those hooks. And then you can kind of come away, and you can mix between kind of short range hooks, longer range hooks. It's kind of like a mix between what would be a straight and a hook. It's right in there, okay? But have some fun with it. Get ready for the next round. Double hooks, kind of like that double jab, right? We're not going all the way back between the first and the second punches, trying to mix up the timing a bit, confuse the opponent, and again, add more overall rhythm coordination to what you do, and just more ability, obviously, with both arms too. So I can go double, double body, double, double head. I can go so body, head, or head, body. And I can also go in the rear as well. So, all right, I had a little extra there at the end. But again, you're having fun, mixing it up, keeping it tight. And again, much like that double jab where it comes back about halfway and goes back again. Same thing with the hook. I'm not bringing it all the way back. I am. All right, have some fun with it. Both stance, obviously, and also both hands. And this is particularly great on a heavy bag. Alternating hook combo reactions with level change. So 4 different combinations will be called out for you. You respond in real time to the best of your ability, okay? 3 means lead hook, 4 means rear hook, H means head, B means body. So the first option is 3H, 4H. Start slow, get back into stance. You can add more power and speed to the punches over the course of the session. Initially, just focus on getting the punches out in reaction, okay? Might even help closing the eyes so you can kind of dial yourself in. I can also go 3B, 4B. I can go 3B, 4H. I can go 3H, 4B. And I'm mixing between that. Visualize a target. You want to see a head and you want to see a body. Again, heavy bag is awesome because you actually get the target, but even closing the eyes, just kind of working it. All right, and one thing I like to do while you're doing this and reacting, just stay moving, stay moving. Think that Mike Tyson action. He's always moving his head, but he's always on the balls of the feet, ready to react. So 3H, 4H, 3B, 4H, and just keep reacting. Again, roll, pivot, 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 pivot. Have some fun with this one. This is gonna really challenge your brain, especially at the end of the workout where fatigue is accumulated. But I need you to lock in, exhale on each punch, inhale between combinations. Get into it. Seat up to punching freestyle, all right? This is great boxing warm-up. It's also great for your fucking abs. So we're gonna get right into this. Now, the key thing to think about here is the straighter your legs are, the easier it is. The more you bend, the harder it is to get your trunk up. So we're gonna inhale down, keeping the guard up, exhale through, and then make sure to exhale on your punches. And I can add tons of different movements. It's a freestyle, so have some fun. Do what you want. Add kind of side to side motion, or uppercut, hook, straights, and then come back down. Inhale it down. I can do 1, 2, 3 more punches, whatever you want to do. Have some fun with it. Just a great way to get it going and get some movement to your trunk, but be sure to root those heels down into the ground. Get a little glute ham activation and kind of root yourself in so there isn't any back pain. I also recommend a nice padded surface. Here we go. You can't throw bombs if you've got stiff hips. That's all the power's from right here, okay? So I like to get to a split kneel, and I like to work my punches, my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I work that whole pattern. I do whatever I want. I'm just mixing it, freestyling it. I can add movement, have some fun. But this motion from the split kneeling or lunge shape is gonna just completely open up those hips. Because I'm kneeling, I can only move through my hips and my trunk to do this. So it's really just kind of open you up, have some fun. 25 to 50% here in terms of power, speed. Just try to open things up and then build the speed and power as we go through. Particularly that rotation coming through, keeping the guard up. Have some fun, switch stances obviously. And again, you'll get up on the ground. This will be loose. You'll be able to really get some meat into them punches. One, 3, 5 combo footwork, syncing up our punches with our foot movement. Awesome for rhythm and coordination, so you can punch and move and be a real killer. So here we go. 1, 3, 5. We're gonna be punching on the odd steps and then just moving on the even. It's a 6-step sequence. We'll do an all, forward, back, left, right, mix it up. So I'm going between a 1, that's a jab, a 3, which is a lead hook, and a 5, which is a lead uppercut. Here's what it looks like. Exhale on each punch, inhale on the even step where there's no punch. So, now I mix it up a little bit. I went 5 instead of 3, but again, you can have some fun, mix it, freestyle. And I just keep going in that fashion and just have fun with it. Start slow, sync things up. Close your eyes even if you really want to challenge yourself, because then it's just all about just the feel of it. When you close the eyes, all you can do is feel. You get kind of locked in, you go inside. So, all right? So these 3 shapes, each punch lands with the step of the foot, okay? Get it going, start slow, you can build up speed and have really, some fun with it as well. All right, let's add some defense and get our legs more involved, okay? 2 different options, do 45 seconds of each of these in both stances for a 3-minute total work period. What I'll do here is first, just duck and uppercut. And what this is gonna do, obviously, when I duck, I avoid a punch, but it also loads up my legs to really bring them behind the uppercut. Those knockouts you see, they're from the ground up. So it's a more vertical fashion. So what I'm gonna do is inhale down, quick scoop uppercut. Inhale down, other side. Notice how, see that? All right, and keep your guard up. Then, all right, I'll just switch stance to give you a different angle on this. Now I'm gonna go roll and hook. So it's actually coming through and I'm turning in and loading up the lead leg to pop into it. So come under the punch, shoulder roll, and then I go from front foot to back foot, hook. Other way, just make sure to keep your eyes forward, eyes ahead on the opponent. Sometimes if you want, if you have the option, you can take a band or a rope, set it about shoulder height like that, and then you have something you actually come underneath for more of a kind of a visual target or a field target. Either way, leg involvement and really just kind of adding some power behind that defense, okay? Best way to win a fight is to not get hit and counter punch. So it really sets you up for that. Enjoy. So this will be a combo reaction, which means just like me in a video game style, you follow along to what you hear and see, okay? These are all 2-punch combinations starting with the jab. And we're gonna kind of go, I'll show you in order here. It's gonna be mixed up throughout the sequence, but we've got our 1-1, we've got our 1-2, we've got our 1-3, we've got our 1-4. That's tricky because you're used to going straight on that, but we're actually going rear hook. We have our 1-5 and our 1-6. All right, get those punches back to your face quick. Get those fists back to the face quick. Remember, pivot your feet, rotate your hips, stay bouncy. You can move in between combinations, and you won't be able to lock in because we're gonna change which order it goes. But again, 6 different combos to mix between. Just initially, just get them out there. So it can be slow, all right? But eventually we can really start to build some speed into it. Power, all right? React, have fun, and get ready for the next one, which is gonna be 3-punch combo reactions. That's harder. Sixth and final rounds, we've got 4 3-punch combinations. So here they are in order. We've got our 1-1-1 triple jab. We have our 1-1-2. We have our 1-2-3. And then we have a challenging one, a new one here. It's gonna be a 1-6-3. So, all right, react to them. And one thing I'll recommend too, whether you're doing this shadow boxing or on a heavy bag or taking these combinations and working them into the pool or outside of the main workouts, you gotta start slow, focus on the form, and even take a mirror and just trace them and you can see, all right? Just be perfect, be almost kind of methodical with how you place those punches. And the reaction drills will really, like a combination is not in your mind, in your soul or body. until you can react to it on feel. So this isn't just gonna improve your reaction time, it's gonna burn these combinations into your muscle memory long term, okay? Let's warm it up in the 90-90 shin box shape. External rotation lead leg, internal rotation trail leg. Now you're gonna take both arms and kind of use them to drive yourself as upright as possible, keeping the head centered over your hips, not allowing you to push off to the side as best as you can. And then from there, you might even want to just go fingertips, right? I'm going to lift the lead leg, exhale up, just keep it off the ground and hover, and then actively drive this leg down, okay? Bring it back, inhale it down, then trail leg, exhale it up, hold it for a count or two, inhale down. Again, you might have to come off to the side a little bit. The goal is as you warm up into this, you are allowing yourself to get more lift in both positions, all right? Really working the adductor here and abductor here, all right? While being wound up into this rotation, okay? You can back off to using one hand, to post up on to do this, or use the two if you need, but again, we'll switch sides halfway into it. Also great, just variation to add to your shin box training, watching TV, doing work, position you can kind of spend time in, play with your kids, pets, whatever. This will make such a difference in your ability to create rotational power and alleviate lower back pain. All right, so assume your boxing stance. We got that stagger. If I had a big square here, my lead leg is in the upper left quadrant and my rear leg is in the bottom right quadrant. And what I'm trying to do here is keep your guard up, but I'm gonna be feeling a lot of weight shifting here as I go to my back leg. I'm gonna lift up and tuck this knee as tight to my chest as possible. All right, exhale it up. Inhale it back down. Now I'm gonna shift my weight to the lead leg as I pick up my trail leg, okay? And I'm just gonna keep alternating in that fashion. This is gonna really help, obviously, improve your hip mobility. This is a unique kind of angle. Instead of going straight up, we're going off to the side, so we get a little more active stretch into the adductor, kind of really opens up the pelvis in a unique angle. But we're also feeling what it's like to really control and balance from foot to foot, okay? So kind of a lean back here, lift it, step back, and then lift the trail leg. All right, you can almost kind of, if you want, it's almost as I'm going from this stance to this stance, I'm just switching directions. If I was fighting someone, in front and behind me, the stance allows you to do that. We'll switch sides halfway, but what this will really help besides the mobility, the weight shifting, to really get good at punching, you gotta really get the foot grounded into the floor. You gotta feel the shifting of weight as you do punches, and this will help with that tremendously. So have fun with it. Again, it's not meant to tire you out. It's meant to really get your balance, stability, and weight shifting locked in. Also, really get those hips open in a unique angle so that we can get them nice and loose, warm, and freeze. Four-punch combo with footwork. Each punch lands with each foot contact. So we'll go 4 steps, punches forward, then right, then back left, then back. Kind of make an L if you want, or just mix directions. But exhale in each punch, inhale through the nose to recover between directions or 4-punch sequences. So here I go. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2. And then halfway into the set or round, I will switch stances. Again, start slow, lock in the contacts. It's that 1, 2, 3, 2 combo mixed with footwork. And if you want, you can add a mini band above the knees to help encourage the proper foot spacing, get a little more lateral hip, or a band around the trunk to get more extension on those punches and more resistance through the work. But you can go bodyweight only on this, make it work. Great way to get that rhythm coordination going, and now progress you to now adding the footwork with progressively longer combinations. We started with a single punch, then 2 punches, and now you got 4-punch combo to mix into your footwork. So it's an advancement on your rhythm and coordination. Keep up the great work. 1, 2, slide, 2, 3, combo. I like to double jab back. This is gonna combine two punch combinations, some movement, and then again, we're using the jab always to kind of use a setup or just kind of active recovery. I love this sequence. We'll switch stances halfway, but just kind of start nice and easy, get your stance, throw a nice good 1, 2, and then it's kind of like a skater jump, if you will, to the side. So we're changing angles here. Then I throw a 2, 3, and then jab it back. And kind of keep repeating that flow. Again, you can start nice and slow. Eventually, you can add a little more power and speed to it. All right, exhale on each punch. Inhale through the nose to recover between combinations. Have fun with it, add speed and power. And it's really, what I love about this is just that motion. Any good fighters you watch, very rarely are they kind of, well, they should never be flat-footed, right? But they're bouncing, they're on their toes, and they're constantly changing the angle, which not only increases the cardio-metabolic, but it'll just make you more athletic. And if you ever get into fisticuffs, you know, you're here, what's happening? I don't know. So this is just straight cardio burnout with a 4/4 rhythmic breathing tempo like we do when we run and do other kind of rhythmic work. You can have the bands here if you want, and what you can do is when you burn out with the band, you just put it to the side. But I'm gonna basically go, so a 1, 2, 1, 2, all right? To lock in with the 4/4 means that you're doing that twice on a smooth inhale and then twice on a smooth exhale. So slower, it would look and sound like this. And I just keep going on that flow. As I go faster, I still maintain the cadence, but I'm getting the cycles done more quickly. So my speed is tied to my breathing. Now, ideally, you can do it with the feet in place, but I like to do this with kind of a pitter patter. So when I'm punching here, this leg steps, you kind of see what it looks like here. So keep making sure we're not, just going like we're going all the way in and out, and we're turning the fists over as we extend. But I'm gonna go as fast as I can, dictated by the breathing, okay? As I fatigue, I may have to slow it down, or I may have to take a brief 5 or 10 second pause, or I might have to get rid of the band. We're switching stances halfway into the set. But again, you'll notice how when I get the rhythm going, I'm in place, but I'm burn it out, test your cardio capacity. Know that you might have to rest pause a couple times, but again, you gotta pace, okay? It's a long round. Don't come out of the gate sprinting on that. We'll eventually do stuff like this with more high intensity interval sequences, but for now, you're trying to find a pace you can maintain as if you were running for time or biking for time or doing anything really cardiovascular for time. But again, the breathing challenge is tough. If you get kind of panicked or overwhelmed with keeping track of the 4/4, just do a smooth inhale, exhale. It might sound choppy because of the movement I'm making, but just keep that flow. Get it. Now let's test your reaction. You're probably tired. So how is the mind gonna keep up? We'll find out shortly. Do the best you can with it. Now it's 4-punch reaction combos, increasing the complexity. The first one is a 1-2-1-2. So exhale on every punch, inhale through the nose to recover between those combinations, react in real time. Make sure on those straights, even though it's 4 punches now, don't start shortchanging the range of motion. Get all the way in and out, bringing the hands back to the face. All right, pivoting the feet, rotating the hips. Then we have a 1-1-1-2, triple jab to 2. So those 3 are just setting up this guy. So keep these more speed focused, this one more power focused. You can hear how the breathing changes on that. All right, then we have 1-1-2-3, double jab to 2-3. So you can feel on that 2 as I transfer from back to front foot without shifting my body, right? My trunk still stays here. That sets up that beautiful 3 as I shift back, all right? So again, double jab setup for the 2-3 power shot. All right? Then we've got a 1-2-3-2. Good setup with a 1-2 combination, probably the combination I'm using the most in boxing. So 1, 2, and then we hit that 3, 2. All right? Finally, 2-3-2-3. This one's tough to kind of lock in, but you'll do the best you can. So we start with that 2, and then we finish with that 3, and then we go right into it again. So now you can look at these as kind of like, they're all 4-punch combinations. So you could think of it as doing 2 2-punch combos in a row, or you can kind of just string them together. Again, timing can change, but you're reacting in real time. Just do the best you can to make them as fluid as possible. And again, especially with the 2-3-2-3, they kind of set each other up. You're just going, don't complicate it. You're going from front foot to back foot and back, all right? And that'll help lock in the tempo. Some might want to consider, if you are Orthodox, maybe you start in Southpaw, which will be harder, but it really helps kind of lock things in. And then when you fatigue, halfway into that round, you back off to your strong stance where you should be more comfortable. But it's up to you. Have fun with it. These reaction drills will keep getting more tough as we increase the number of combinations in the punches, or punches in the combination, or the number of combinations, you name it. Extended range of motion, shin box variation. We're in our 90-90 shape. I always love to make sure we open up the hips into rotation before rotational training, so we get more power and we take more stress off the lumbar spine or lower back. Now, I'm elevating both. All you need to do is elevate one. You're gonna do 90 seconds in each position, then you'll switch sides. In the case of this, it'll be 45 seconds elevated back leg, then 45 seconds elevated front leg, switch sides and repeat. Or if you have the ability to elevate both, you can do so, and then it's only one switch. But what I'm doing here is the elevated technique here with a thick, sturdy pillow or pad that won't get too much indentation, okay, so it holds your weight. It's driving both legs, or one leg at a time, into more flexion under rotation. So all I want you to do here is just, we're emphasizing the back leg now, I'm just doing a little bit of a hip movement here, all right, trying to turn towards that side. I'm also gonna actively think about pressing down into it. Tensioning on and off. You actually might feel an adjustment within the actual hip capsule. I can also kind of turn away, get a little rotation through it. When I want to do more front leg emphasis, so that's internal here, external here, in terms of rotation, a little side to side. Deep belly breath into the thigh. Much easier now to get it that close to the trunk now because of the leverage here. Kind of keep sinking into it. By the way, great Netflix and stretch drill or EHO drill if you have back pain, hip pain, or you have a pelvic asymmetry. It's tilting or turning on you. I know my right side is tighter, so it affects my squatting mechanics. I always spend more time on this back leg here. Again, pushing down, just trying to create active tension here and good hip movement as we do it, okay? And you can see that was a decent amount of elevation with a big, thick pad, especially on that back leg. It'll want to push you off to the side more, so really post up, get some shoulder stability going here too. And then especially when it's this elevated, I can really drive down. Exhale it, active, kind of contract, relax technique. Open the sky up and try to stay as square as you can. Great way to start a workout or open up those hips anytime, anywhere. All you need is a thick pillow or pad to help elevate, get better leverage. Grab a stick. You can also use your dip row bars, but I prefer something at about chest level that you can kind of ice pick into the ground. We're going to progress from the leg lift, and we're at an extension here, kind of like a Jean-Claude Van Damme kick, all right? We're trying to peel open the hips. Great stretch for the taint, by the way, but also improve single leg balance and weight shifting for a boxing stance. So assume your staggered stance, ice pick. I'm going to shift all my weight to the back leg. I'm going to exhale up and reach out, hold, bring it back, and then come back down. Then I will switch. Really feel that weight shifting, peel it open, bring it back, and I'm just gonna keep going for time. Halfway through, we'll switch sides, but ultimately, it doesn't matter as much because we're kind of switching between the back and front here, but use the stick to allow you to really get as much flexion initially And then it's that reach and that hold, owning it. You'll feel it peel all the way through the middle of your body here, coming right back. Also a great drill if you want to practice this in the pool. You can do it without needing the stick, and then really feeling the extra kind of support and assistance it provides on loading your body weight a bit. But this is so good. Again, being able to get comfortable shifting weight will give you more power in your punches, give you more multi-directional movement, and it's also really gonna just open up those hips and take pressure off your lumbar spine. Plus, if you ever wanna kick, this is getting your body ready to properly kick with good form and technique, and obviously mobility, which is range of motion and control. So another great way to build in the warm-up to this workout before we start getting after it metabolically. We're about to take your footwork to the next level. Now remember, we've been drilling this throughout the program, right? Our good boxing stance. If you take a square on the floor, there's a line between the feet. Mini band helps autocorrect your form because if the feet come too close together or they cross, you see it, it'll fall on you. So it's gonna get you to autocorrect that technique, maintain that good stance, also get more lateral hip glute work, which is always good. Now we know we're going forward, front foot leads. When we're going back, back foot leads. When I'm going left, left foot leads. When I'm going right, right foot leads, all right? You start that slow, we built it up. Now we're adding some speed. Like we add the hand speed, now we add the foot speed. So you're gonna go out fast, forward, recover, back slowly for one round. Switch stances halfway in, then the next round you go laterally, okay? So it's kind of progressing. You get a lot more cardio here, and again, trying to build that explosive power. The big focus is as we're going forward, okay? You're pushing off the back leg, and you're pulling with the front leg, all right? And going back, you are pushing off the lead leg and pulling with the trail leg. It's kind of like the shuffle, right? Where I'm pushing up here, getting the hip abductor, and then this leg, adductor, pulls it through, but we're doing it from a staggered boxing stance. It's gonna be one smooth exhale out, one smooth inhale back, slow recover. So it looks like this. I almost recommend starting with the mini band because it'll slow you down a little bit. I don't want you to get to the point where we're crossing or clicking, all right? But it'll slow you down just enough so you can feel the push and the pull nature of it. You want to feel it, it should be real smooth as you go out there. And you're always ready. The whole point is that I can punch from these positions eventually, right? So we want to stay balanced as we do it laterally. Very similar concept. If I'm going here, I'm gonna all right, so exhale out fast, inhale back to recover, switching stances. And again, try to maintain that push and pull nature. Another drill that's great to take into the pool because the water resistance, as long as it's about 3 to 5 feet level, water resistance, you can actually feel the push-pull effect in a way that's tough on land. I actually was working this because I was struggling with it a bit in the B-roll, hadn't done it in a while, and I went in the water, helped kind of clean up my form and technique. Obviously, you can go a lot faster without the band, but getting that push-pull effect. All right, keep the hands ready to go, because again, eventually we'll add some punches to this, and then we'll eventually go fast in and out. So many progressions off of this, but it starts here. Enjoy. Heart rate's going up. All right, baby, reaction combo ladder. So we're progressing our reaction drills a couple ways. One, going from 4 to 5 punch combination. And then we're also doing some contrast. So you're actually gonna be doing a full 3-minute round Orthodox and then another 3-minute round Southpaw. And the combo is 1, 2, 3H, 3B, 3H. So what that means is 1 is the jab, 2 is the cross. 3 is the lead hook head, 3H, slip, 3B, lead hook body, back up, lead hook head, okay? So that's the combination we're working, and we're gonna go 90 seconds with the band to get more speed and turnover on the punches, resistance, and then the contrast effect is then 90 seconds in, we set the band down and we keep going in the same stance to really drive the conditioning and get the hands will really start flying a lot faster now that the band is gone. So working that combination, all right, we'll do first the 1, then the 1, 2, pivot the feet, rotate the hips, then the 1, 2, 3, H, then the 1, 2, 3, H, 3B. This is where you want to really get a good slip going because the 1 sets up the 2, which sets up the 3H, but now I've got to slip off that center line, 3B, slip back, 3H. But we'll do it in that sequence. So it'll be a 1, and we'll keep going. But you're reacting off of what you hear in real time. So I'm going to be calling it out, and you'll punch. 90 seconds in, you drop the band, and you keep going. Next round, we switch, okay? Extended range of motion shin box squats. And we worked this last month, one leg at a time, seated. Now we're gonna actually, if we can, elevate both legs and do a squat pattern. We'll start with some self-assistance if needed. Now I can use 2 slant boards set up like this. All right, I'm just closing down, and it's gonna get more flexion into both legs while under rotation. External front leg, internal trail leg. I can modify with, any sort of thick pillow pad, sofa cushion, or ab mats are great for this too. But I'm set up like this. Use that stick to self-assist. Exhale up. Excuse me. Inhale down. And you can play with your position in your pre-workout situation here. Since this is the first exercise, just play with exactly how you want to place these to get the best positioning for yourself in terms of where you actually want to put the leg. But again, the big focus is we're extending the range of motion. To modify it, progress it, now I'm going to do it without self-assistance. I'm going to switch legs halfway, inhale down, exhale up. Now, once this gets comfortable and you can level out here, doing this flat on the floor and a decreased range of motion, being totally level, it'll just completely improve your shin box. I also recommend Netflix and stretch style using this particular setup. Again, getting that both leg action just to really extend the stretch, playing around with both sides, even clamshelling if needed. Just have some fun in your normal mobility flow as well. Toes elevated, high side kick mobility. So again, continuing to peel open the pelvic girdle, stretch the adductors, and strengthen your hip rotators or abductors. I'm gonna use the wall for kind of self-assistance here, and the further I get from the wall, the harder it is for me to do because I can't assist as much. So I'm getting set up here. I'm trying to use this to stretch the calf, ankle, and Achilles, all right? And all I want you to do here is we're actually gonna keep the leg up for a full 90 seconds and switch sides, okay? So we'll do one side at a time here. I'm gonna focus on lifting the leg up, and I can kind of lean to the side a bit, but if you can, try to kind of crunch into it. And also focus on getting the heel up. You want it at least level with the knee, if not up a little bit more. And all I'm gonna do is come in and out like this for time. Trying to continue to peel open. By the way, this is such a good in the pool exercise. You get the support, assistance, and resistance of the water. And again, it's all about transferring the weight over to the side. You can, again, lean more there, but the best results will come by trying to stay as upright as you can while keeping that leg lift happening. But really peeling open, and again, I really want you to focus on getting this guy up. That's gonna help a little more internal rotation in the hip, and you should feeling this a lot in the top leg, glute, and also big stretch into the adductors of both legs. You also will feel a lot of work in the stabilizing glute too. So it's total hip development here. And again, whether you intend to kick or not, the kicking mobility is one of the biggest tests of your ability to balance, stabilize, and overall mobility of the hips. So that's why we're really working it hard, because even if we're not going to kick, more hip mobility makes you a better boxer. 1-1-2 footwork. You'll be doing one round linear, switching sides, stances halfway, and another round lateral. And we're going fast forward or fast out, recover back. but now we're adding a combination with it. So I recommend, if you can, a light band around the trunk to give more resistance for the upper body and encourage full extension of the arms, and then a mini band above the knees to keep our good spacing and stagger with our boxing stance, but also work your lateral hips harder. So here's what it looks like in terms of the linear with the 1-1-2. So I'm locked in, I'm going to, and then I'm going to recover back on an inhale. Now, if I really slowed it down, and I don't want you to, I mean, start slower and build up speed, but it's a 1-1-2. So there's a punch happening with each step. It actually is almost easier to do in more of a fluid manner. I'm pushing off the back leg as I... Now laterally, same concept. If I'm going left, I'm going to... Okay, and smoke it out. Again, switching stances halfway, but man, really focus on accelerating forward and recovering back. Another awesome in the pool drill. And by the way, you can actually use both of these in the pool, the bands themselves, to get that resistance plus the fluid resistance. But the one thing in the pool will slow you down, and you can actually really feel the push off and the pull with the legs in a way that's kind of hard to on land, okay? Make sure to keep your spacing with the feet and just focus on getting out fast with exhales on each punch and recovering back with a nice slow inhale. Great time drill here. All right, get after it today. Rounds 5 and 6. 5, you'll stay in your Orthodox stance. 6, you'll be in Southpaw. And we're using a 30-30 ground to stand flow. On the floor or the ground, you're doing either banded plank, climbers, or push-ups, going on feel, doing whatever you want there for that 30. Then you get up on your feet for 30, and it's a reaction drill using a combo ladder we've used in the past. So just a heads up on the floor stuff. So we're here, go with a light band and either planking, inhale down, exhale up, push-ups, or 4-4 rhythmic breathing climbers. And you can mix those from, on feel. You could do all of them or just back off to plank. Can't do any push-ups, you can climb. Can't do any climb, just plank. But you'll be doing that and using the band the whole time. Now, the stand, okay? Every 30 seconds, you're going from ground to stand, is gonna be our 1-2-3H, 3B, 3H combo ladder that we worked last month. So you know it. Just to recap, 1, 2, 3H, slip, 3B, 3H head. Now, if we use that, and again, you react in the follow-along workout in real time, we'll start with a 1, a 1, 2, pivot the feet, rotate the hips, 1, 2, 3H, 1, 2, 3H, 3B, slip, 1, 2, 3H, 3B, 3H. All right, and then eventually you'll be reacting to that out of order. Whatever I call out, you do, okay? But going between this and the floor, a lot of competitive upper body fatigue. By the time you get to that third time on the ground, you're probably gonna have to plank. Maybe you have to come to the knees. That's fine. Do the best you're gonna stay in motion. And then under that state of both metabolic, local fatigue, and systemic cardio-metabolic stress, can you react in real time? Because fatigue makes us idiots. Now we get to our split kneel. We're gonna start with the chamber, okay? What the chamber means, it's almost just like a knee, but to do kicks on your feet, all martial artists, no matter what creed, BJJ, karate, taekwondo, okay? It all is about first bringing the knee up before you extend the leg. So we're gonna focus on is loading this trail leg, and you can dig the back toes for more stability. Make sure the surface is padded for you, okay? All you're gonna work on, and again, is just exhale up, inhale down. Now, I could stabilize with offset like this, fingers or even hand, and kind of work to getting more upright, or I can have a stick to self-assist or hold on to a wall. The choice is yours. But you do both sides, just working on your chamber. Exhale up. Inhale down, both sides. We chamber and then we front kick. So this is tough. All right, so I lift it up, lift it, kick. All right, so you can imagine this is actually much harder to balance using your knee as your foot. But again, what this is really teaching you how to do is to get back, feel the weight shifting and transfer, all right? And then again, when you get on your feet, you're gonna get higher kicks, less clicking or tension around your hips, better overall form. And by the way, whether you're doing kickboxing or not, this is just a great overall warm-up for the lower body. And now you're ready to really get into the cardio fat loss part of the workout. Remember how earlier in the program we were learning our punches from a variety of seated and split kneeling positions, particularly from the split kneel, right? What this does is it really forces me to drive the motion through my hips. So it's kind of a built-in warm-up for the lower body. And again, once you get on your feet, you'll find more power and stability. As we learn how to kick, we'll use a similar process where you go kind of through a variety of plank positions, incorporating the basic kicks, the more linear or straightforward kicks, as you would call it, a jab and a cross, kind of your front and side kicks, and then our more angular hooking or rounding kicks, roundhouse as well. But we'll learn them on the ground to get the core stability and the hip mobility we need for better form on your feet, also less back and hip pain. So here's what we're gonna start with. It's 5 movements in a row. We'll do both sides and you go to the next position. So the first one is the lying front kick. So I'm gonna show you on this side here. All I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna kind of try to get my abs involved, so crunch the abs. I can kind of drive off the elbow as well. And think about, you watch MMA or combat sports, it's kind of like they get in the ground, it's kind of their guard position. What I want you to focus on doing is getting that knee as tight to the chest as you can and push away. So this is the lying front kick, all right? And you're gonna try to push and drive through the heel or the middle of the foot. If you're ever using a heavy big, by the way, you don't want to kick it with the toes. You can break your toes. So that's the focus here. Inhale back, full range. Exhale up, and again, keep the abs engaged. Both sides. From there, we'll do more of the side kick emphasis where you're actually going to tuck that knee from the side plank and push it out forward. So it's not like this, it's straight out. So inhale back, push away. And you can kind of keep your guard up here too. Smoking the bottom hips, by the way, both hips are getting smoked here, and also the shoulders. So this is gonna give you the stability you need when you're on your feet for better balance. So both sides there. The cross, all right, this is our real power hand here, coming straight down the pipe. Let it fly, and again, we start here. This will be all greased and juicy. You get to the feet, we can really let those babies fly. The power portion of the jab. Less about getting it out there quickly, more about putting some deadly intent on each punch. And we do it as if imagining a slip. So if someone was jabbing me, I'd slip off the center line, load up those hips, come forward there and snap it. So it's inhale between each punches. The last one in the sequence is the lead hook. And again, same concept. I want you to slip, to load up, transfer from front to back, and it comes right across like this. So nice pat for the knees is really helpful. Okay, you'll rest a minute after you do both sides, all 4 punches. All right, cardio block 1, 4 minutes total, 20 on, 10 off, switching stances each set and punches each time you come back to the original stance. 4 punches. There's a speed jab, a power jab, a lead hook, and a cross, okay? So on the speed jab, the emphasis is really just getting that jab in and out quick. And again, this is high intensity interval training. You're going all out for 20 seconds. You're not gonna hold your breath, but now I also want you to start breathing like a beast. We have to unleash the beast. So we're not going, it is. So that's the speed portion of the jab. From there, we go to our side plank. We're gonna start with the roundhouse action. What we're doing here is you're gonna get bent knee, get up there, think about standing on your side. And what I'll do here is I'm gonna kind of use my glutes to push back and then kick. Inhale back, exhale forward. But I'm keeping the hips high and I'm not tilting or turning. You'll do both sides. Then I'm gonna do my cross. If I go body, add a level change, get those legs involved. My power jab, I can also play with going body or head. I go my hook, body, and again, between punches, stay active. Think about a young Mike Tyson, always active, ready to go, moving. So you can't touch him, but he's always ready to counter punch. Try to get at least 10 punches every 20 seconds. Both sides for training balance. You'll be huffing and puffing by the end of this. We worked this whole program. Now, we really want to finish strong here. So shake it out during that minute, grab a water, towel down. Here we go, we're on our feet. And again, you can play with the dead weights in the hands or the bands, or now go body weight only and let it loose, it's up to you. Same concept, I'm going to work on my speed jab. Notice how I'm pivoting the feet, rotating the hips. Round one, we're going knees, and we'll call these, for our purposes on the number chart, 7s and 8s. A 7 is a lead knee, and a 8 is a rear knee in both a Orthodox and a Southpaw stance. So there's 6 moves in a row, 30 seconds each, that fill that 3-minute block, then you rest and go to the next round. So you'll start in your Orthodox stance, and one thing that can be helpful too, whether you have a bag you're using or you're imagining, holding someone's head, or even kind of using the wall for this can help as a way to kind of push down with the hands and give you some leverage. But what I'm gonna do is exhale up, inhale down on these, and I consider the knee, think about them like short range hooks. They're great when you're closer to the individual, right? A knee is not as long as a leg. Anyway, we're locked in. So you're just isolating the left leg, or the lead knee from the Orthodox stance. Then we're gonna isolate the rear leg. Really explode up and come down, and then reset. Then you will switch stances. And then you go back, alternating these from each stance to finish. So, and then I would switch and finish it off. So we go one leg at a time, lead, rear, both stances, alternating knees from both stances. 6 total moves, 30 seconds each, back to back to back, exhaling up, inhaling down, just isolating these kicks, which are now new to us. We're gonna go through 2 rounds of kind of a kick progression. Then the final 2 rounds of this workout, we combine them with hand and feet combinations. Round 2 are front kicks. So we're gonna go with that same sequence we did with the knees, but now with the kick. So longer lever, it's harder to do, but the great thing about doing the knees first, the key to all kicks is what's called the chamber. So you gotta be able to pull that knee up first before you extend that leg. And one thing about front kicks too, this is kind of a flick. Think about more about pushing, a push kick if you will. So you lift up and we push away, really trying to target that midfoot, which is especially important if you're gonna use a heavy bag and you're gonna kick. You don't never want your toes to lead, you'll break your toes. You wanna get that midfoot being where you are. So we get locked in here, and again, go slow with this, go with the stick if you need to, but we chamber, we lift up. I actually like to break these down too with an inhale to chamber, exhale through, and then reset. Just break it down the way, especially early on with this. So we get locked in. All right, and then I go rear leg after 30 seconds here. So it's actually coming through, then back. Some people you see when they kick to their arms kind of extend out or reach and move around, or you can keep your guard up. It's up to you. Really, we're just trying to focus on the legs here. I'll then do the same thing from my Orthodox stance, front, rear, and then I go back here alternating. So this is a little bit tough coordination-wise. Again, lift. You got big, strong legs. It's tough to get these puppies up. Do the best you can. And also, remember we did with our punches too. We didn't start throwing bombs. We started with nice, easy. So just place it, lift it. All right, this one's kind of a little bit more awkward because you got to get back here, lift and push. This one's tough because you got to get that leg back. So Big challenge with your hip mobility. Do the best you can with it. And again, you'll be doing the alternating leg from the Southpaw stance as well. Round 3, 11 and 12, which will be side kick on the front leg here and then a roundhouse from the rear leg. And we'll use both stances, isolating one kick at a time in both stances, and then doing alternating versions of those kicks from both stances to fill it out. 6 moves, 30 seconds each in a row, non-stop 3-minute block here. So with the side kick, what I'm gonna do is lift up, push out. So I'm still in, a good stance, but you might kind of, instead of being more here, you're gonna turn a little bit as you do this to kind of get like that. So I lift up, push away, come back. Inhale to chamber, push away. All right, and obviously when you see these water shots, I'm getting the leg up much higher because again, this is a big challenge for me. I haven't done a lot of kicking yet. I've done a lot more punching, but this is good. It's exposing my weaknesses and it gives me the ability to keep improving. And again, if you have big, strong legs, this is gonna really challenge your hip complex to lift these puppies up and get that coordination. But again, chamber, start slow, work on the placement. I could, if I wanted to, remember, I can go to the wall. Or again, all right? The roundhouse is loading up here and it's kind of like the hook version of a straight leg kick here. So come back, come back. You can kind of see how the arms, they kind of swipe with me, so inhale back, exhale out, inhale back. And then combining them is very tough. Again, start slow. I do my side kick, and then I gotta come back. So you might have to do some extra steps as you get used to this, but all right? And then we'll switch stances, and again, you will have trouble, just like with our punching. Remember our punching? People are much stronger typically an Orthodox stance and they are a Southpaw for both their punches and their kicks. So again, do the best you can with it, be patient, but the cardio will be up and your hips and legs will be on fire. Round 4 is a 1-1-12 combination, double jab plus roundhouse kick. And you keep repeating that for time, 90 seconds Orthodox, 90 seconds Southpaw. So here we go. Double jab, remember this guy? We go all the way out, come back halfway, go back out again, and then we hit our roundhouse kick, come right back to stance and repeat. So, all right, and it's really tough to get out there and come back, but see that hip rotation? My glutes, by the way, I'm feeling them already. Got to swivel them hips in this workout. So again, you can also just slow it down, just practice nice and easy. Doesn't have to be super high intensity, okay? And if you wanted to, even if I have more time today, I'm gonna do 20 minutes to kind of get a feel for all the movements. I'll run this workout back again at a harder, faster pace. So the choice is yours, but don't try to get it all done today, especially those kicks. Those are tough. Round 5, 3, 4, 7, 8. 4 kick punch combo here, right? I like this as a close range option because we're doing both knees and hooks, which are both not the right shot when you're further from the opponent. They're close range, bent limb shots, right? So what we're gonna do is 3, 4, and then grab onto the head or the shoulders. You notice too, the knees are so much easier to do because short lever, right? So that's just a great combination to work. Also great on a heavy bag that you can kind of grab onto. You get that, that stability and that feel for it. You can also kind of work the wall in the sense that you're, all right? So you've got some options there, but just a great, those hooks, pivot the feet, rotate the hips, get the guard up, and then you can get that whole midsection, those liver shots with those knees. That changes lives as you then come, take them out. All right, it's like this is a lethal program. The 6th and final round, we've got a 1, 2, 3, 11 combination. So that is a jab to cross to lead hook. And then we load this puppy up, lift, 11 is that side kick, the hardest part of this exercise. Again, you got to get that weight transfer and those legs up. So again, lock it in. So what I like to recommend there on that is hit the 1, 2, 3 with an exhale on each punch. Inhale in the chamber, exhale back out, then repeat. So one more time again. All right, and these hands, all right, on the front kick, again, we can keep the guard up or you can kind of reach out. You see it a lot too where they kind of reach out. So if any punches are coming while they're kicking, the hands are just, it's almost like a nuclear defense system, right? They're out there before contact, collecting the damage, all right? So one more time from front view. So it loads us up to that back foot after that final lead hook, lift, come back, all right? So, man, this is a fun workout. Trust me, this is actually some of my first time demonstrating some of these kicks, all right? And why I wanted to show them in the water is because they do look much better in the water. So that's where I'm gonna be doing my work. I'm lucky I have access to a pool. If you don't, you know, maybe get a community pool, gym pool, or just anytime you're traveling, consider I'm gonna take this workout in there and get that work too when I have pool access. But just be patient, all right? Just like you were in the beginning of this whole program where you didn't know how to punch, if that was a beginner for you when it came to boxing. Now you're throwing incredible combinations. We build them to 6 and 7 punch combinations from both stances. You'll get there eventually with your kicks too. And those that are doing our programs ongoing as well, the kickboxing component, we'll try to keep working that in long term.